Got AC in the building.
What up, man?
What's going on, bro?
I'm chilling, man. Happy to be here. No chill zone. Always, with my bros, Beto and Jesse, holding it down. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man. Y'all doing y'all thing.
Okay. What's going on, though? Where you been?
Everything's been good, bro. Just, handling the business with the music and at the same time, like, being on my job shit, just working, 9 to 5, but it's never gonna deter the dream though.
I feel you. It's been a while since the net track. What you been up to?
I still got tracks after the net, but that was like the biggest hit. But I got some new shit coming out 2017.
What was the process of recording that song like?
I went to Young Peace house, my best friend.
Okay.
And we recorded that 2012. At the same day, we recorded Hudutu Stick.
Oh, okay, that's with D-Boy.
Yeah,
shout out to D-Boy.
Yeah, shout out to my nigga D-Boy. We recorded both.
Oh, so y'all recorded those two tracks in the same day?
Same day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
But that was a hit too.
Yeah. So I had like 2 hits in 1 year, man. That was a good year for us as GX, as Hagucha Records,
Okay.
And the Outlaws. Everybody was doing their thing that year, But now it's time to up it again because it's been 5 years since then.
Why that title? Like the net.
The net.
Yeah, why?
I'm usually known like as a conscious intellectual guy, even though I don't label myself that, right? But I knew to catch people's attention I had to be real controversial, so I just called it the dick.
Pause.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for if it was something like, the education, nobody would ever pay attention to
hell
that.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you link up with Aurelio and shit?
I met Aurelio at Puntology when I was doing camera work with Don Julian.
Okay.
So I had met him before that. I played with him when I was younger, like in 2007 or 2008, and he asked if I still played bass, and I was like, yeah. So we were having small talk about music, and I thought he was bullshitting me when he said, if you want to tour with me, and I said yes, of course. But I didn't think he was going to call me back. He called me the next month, and next thing I know, I'm going to tour with him. Yeah, I thought he was bullshit. I thought he was bullshit, man. That's my nigga and all that. Shout out to Aurelio.
What you think about the whole guitarazo incident?
I thought that shit was hilarious, but at the same time...
You performed with him on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Was that shocking to you when you seen that video?
It wasn't all the way shocking to me because I know, Aurelio's the type of dude that got hurt. Like, when he talks his shit, he's willing to back it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't all the way surprised. I laughed, but the thing that made it sad is the people, that clowning are only men that is up there in the elite.
Oh yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, he's in the elite standing where he's being representing us across the world.
I always say this, Aurelio's the biggest Garifuna celebrity.
Yeah, he is.
He tours all over Europe.
Yeah.
I think Andy Palacios.
Yeah, Andy
Palacios.
He was
one, right?
Yeah, he's the one that gave Aurelio the connect to do that. They were under the same label. So when Andy Palacios passed away, rest in peace, Aurelio picked up the slack, Yeah.
What was the first band you ever played in?
The first band I ever played in was Garifuna New Generation. I started with them 1999. And my cousin Cosito, again, he's the one that bought me. And I started playing with them, and I had a big role as soon as I got in. I was 13 or something.
Damn.
I got a big role because I had to take over for Randy Arzu, who he still does his producing thing, but he left the band.
Oh, so he was an original member.
He's an original member. He's one of the founders of G&G. Yeah.
So who's the founder? I thought Eddie was the founder.
Eddie's one of them, but Randy Arzu is the main guy that had the mastermind to put everybody together. The first practices were in his home and all that. Wow. Then it moved to Eddie's house. Yeah, but Randy Arzu was the main one.
So who are the main members?
The main members who started off, well, I can't speak too much of when I wasn't there because they started in 95. I got with them 99.
Oh, okay.
But from what I remember, it was Eddie, Randy Arzu, Heido, Cosito, and a couple of people that didn't even like last through the years.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but when I got there, it was all the people I just said: Rosemary, Nalo, Dennis. Shout out to my boy Dennis.
Okay. So how was the competition back then between the bands?
Yeah.
And today's bands? Because back then you had like real crazy competition.
Yeah.
You had all types of bands.
Yeah.
You know
I would even throw it in there that some of us were actually going to physically fight each other.
No way.
Physically
So
fight.
we had crazy stories between bands back in the day.
Oh man, I'm not even going to put names in it, right? Because I'm still in the game, they still in the game, but there was a time we was playing by Wabodu Park and something escalated and like we had like a special entourage of niggas from the hood with us, and so did the opposing band that I'm talking about. And you know, it was stemming from niggas stealing each other's sounds and you know, stealing certain rebanes and stuff like that. And we were gonna go head to head, and everybody was ready for it. There had to be multiple peacemakers between us to make shit like neutral again. But yeah, it got that intense, and that's how it sounds like funny to me now that I'm grown. Like, oh, we were fighting over some petty shit.
Did you ever see anybody get punched in the face over some
bad
beef?
Yeah. I seen. Yeah, I seen that shit. It was funny, man. And I can't even like say the name because it's too close to home.
Are they still performing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alright, so the competition, it was intense because, like I was saying earlier, when we would hear something, I'll use an example, my personal example, one of my friends, Juve, he had some shit like, with Cultural Legends back in the day, dun, 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 and with a bass line and the keyboard, like, combination, right? When I went home, I was like, nah, that shit is too hot. I gotta make something better than that. You know, because it was fire. It wasn't awesome. I'm trying to take him down, but he motivated me. He motivated me to try to Juve Giovanni Lacona on Facebook. He's in Legacy Gifted now.
Okay.
That
he played the
bass? No, he plays the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
But he had like a combination going on with his cousin Devin.
Okay.
Them together, there was like a Pippen and Jordan, man, like a tag team. Yeah. So I wanted to have that type of vibe with my bass player at the time too. So I showed Heido some shit. I was like, yo, bro, next performance we gonna do this because them niggas is doing that and, you know, it's fire, so we gotta step our game up. That's how it was back then. Nowadays, it's like everybody rather trace each other instead of
What you mean
drawing.
trace?
Yeah, they're tracing something that's already there for them. They're not drawing. They're not really artists. They're like following guidelines, you know, not really like creating something originally from the head. They're like just throwing it in there like on some, alright, we're gonna take something that inspired us, not flip it too much, but you could tell where we got it from. You know, everybody gets inspired from somewhere, but you gotta be less obvious than they being today. Gotta be less obvious, man.
So you feel like a lot of bands are just copying?
Yeah, most. Yeah.
So back then it wasn't like that?
Back then it was way more originality, bro. Way more like you could hear a band and tell off rip, oh, this is this band, oh, this is La Unihati, this is Kaliga band, this is Grupo H, this is Garifuna Kids. They all had their distinct sounds. Nowadays it's like one long song. Sound like the same bands, you know. With a, you know, of course there's a selected few that I feel got their own style.
Okay.
But, you know, a part of that too is niggas not being creative enough. You can't be scared to bring out tracks and Jordan didn't make every shot, you know? You know, so like...
But he made the clutch shots.
He made the clutch shots. He won the championships, right? So it's like you can't be afraid to try, because if you're afraid to try, you're never going to win. Yeah. Word.
You like a big hip-hop head.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So a lot of artists, like Garifuna artists doing hip-hop.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is standing out right now?
There's this rapper from Ecstasy band, Monkey.
Okay. Oh, he raps?
He raps. He's a really, really good rapper. I like when he does the rapping thing. Like he's the man. You know. There's also Chris from Ecstasy too.
Okay.
They're really good rappers. But I just wish more artists was on some rapping about something Garifuna, something that we could all relate to, you know, and bringing out more tracks. Besides that, there's Sloppy Joe. Okay, I like him too. There's a couple of dudes I like.
But I feel like the community doesn't support a lot of the hip hop artists.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think, you know, they're not like us, like a real hip hop heads that really hear it, and not only just the hits, we go and do research on our artists. There's not too many of those type of people in the Garifuna community besides like people like us that were, you know, raised here, you know. So like, I think eventually it will catch on, but it's gonna take somebody to blow up outside of the Garifuna community for everybody to jump on the bandwagon.
Someone's like that.
Yeah, and it's sad, but I feel like it's gonna happen maybe sooner than we think.
So did you go to this year's Porto?
Yeah, I went. It was cool. It was nice. You know,
Think it could have been better?
Could have been better, but I think the people really enjoyed themselves, and it was.
Was it better than when Exiati came?
No.
No?
No. Not in my personal opinion. Like, the lights were on this time.
Why?
I didn't understand that. But I knew it was kind of killing people's vibe, but it was packed. It was packed like it is every year, but people...
Yeah, that kills the whole vibe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The lights were bright, bro. And
I mean, some people was kind of disappointed that Eddie G and G didn't perform.
Yeah. And, you know, that's originally kind of like Eddie's thing.
Eddie started that whole Porto in New York, right?
As far as doing it here in New York for our
Crowd,
generation.
For
our generation, he did it. And there was always like Garifuna kids used to do it back in the 90s too. But Eddie's the one that kind of crossed it over for like Garifuna Hondurans and Belizeans to come to Porto and allow people to like, you know, interact with each other, you know, and have like more of a unity thing. Instead of everybody going to Porto and getting mad because people are jumping, they don't understand. He would introduce it to the different type of Garifunas, make it acceptable for all of us. Jesse would know. You know, Jesse was there. He's a Honduran Garifuna, but he was in there lit, not getting mad because people's bumping him and whatever, you know.
So how you came to BGX? How that came about?
In 2003, I met Young P in Jane Addams High School, and I met him in a locker room. He was whistling
In the locker room?
Yeah, we had gym together. So he was whistling a Fernandez band melody. And I was like, yo.
You're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, I went from my locker like, yo, bro, you got Ifuna? And from then on, he said, oh, hell yeah. From then on, we clicked.
Yeah, what high school was that?
Jane Addams High School, Tinton Ave. Down that,
that's
down
in the hood.
Yeah, Tinton Ave and 160, between 162nd and 163rd. Yeah, so since then, like, me and P have been inseparable, you know, and I never looked at it like, oh, he's a Honduran Garifuna, I'm giving him this stereotype, I'm a Lakugana. Like, I just looked at it like we were the same person because we were the same culture. Yeah, so we embraced each other. He took me to Kev's crib.
Okay.
I met Kev that same year, and we were just joking around in the studio, like playing around with our instruments, and we weren't serious about making it a band at first, but eventually we started recording and wanting to like see where we could graduate from recording. Can we do this live, or can we do a whole album together, you know, and stuff like that. And you know, so far, I mean, over the years, we see that we could do a lot more than we thought we could do. So, yeah. So, like, that's how we made GX.
What you think about the Garifuna Awards?
Garifuna Awards. I went, actually. We was front row. Me, Young P.
Did you win?
We didn't win shit.
Oh, man.
We didn't win anything, you know. But at the same time, I was happy to be there. But I knew it was favoritism.
You think it's... Oh, really?
Yeah, it was favoritism. Because the band that won Band of the Year over us, nobody in the crowd even knew who they were.
Who won Band of the Year?
You the Main Band.
Who?
Exactly.
No, who's that? You Google that band, bro. No, I'm serious. Bro, I never heard of that band, bro.
Yeah, but it was us.
They won Band of the Year?
Yeah, us, them, and Ecstasy. We were all sitting in a row, whatever, waiting. I really, for some reason, I kind of knew we weren't going to win. But at the same time, you the main band. I was like, how fair is it that most of the crowd doesn't even know who this is? And y'all giving them an award.